Aw, where did everybody go, Donald? They weren't at the State of the Union. They were at the People's State of the Union. Your low-energy fascist fest was the worst State of the Union in American history. Oh, and it dragged along so long. What was it? An hour and 41 minutes, the longest in history, the most boring in history, universally panned as just being absolutely horrible in every regards. Look at all those empty seats. Yeah, Donald Trump was panicking. So was the MAGA Republican establishment. So was state regime media. When the MeidasTouch network led all news in terms of views yesterday with the counter-programming People's State of the Union, we hit over 2 million views right after the People's State of the Union concluded. That number, of course, continued to rise thereafter. In addition to just the view count, there was a huge, massive crowd that was there at the People's State of the Union on the National Mall. You could see the Capitol building in the background. And, MeidasTouch easily beat state regime media, which calls itself Fox in digital views. It wasn't even close. Throughout the entire night, MeidasTouch destroyed state regime media known as Fox in views. So you had people like Jesse Waters before the State of the Union aired and the People's State of the Union aired, and they were competing, and MeidasTouch easily destroyed Fox. You had Jesse Waters, who no doubt is jealous of the MeidasTouch network. Jesse Waters' mom is a huge MeidasTouch fan. She's probably watching this right now. How are you doing? And she warned Jesse Waters about going down this rabbit hole of being a fascist propagandist. But, sadly, he's Jesse Waters. It is what it is. But here's what Jesse Waters said about the MeidasTouch network. People's State of the Union goes, no one's going to watch that. Well, guess what? Let's look at the side-by-side comparison, Jesse. We beat ya. We beat you big, Jesse. Here, play this clip.
The chamber's starting to fill up, and the big question tonight, what's it going to be like in there, given the fact that a record-setting 73 congressional Democrats have decided to bail on this speech tonight. They won't be there, and a couple dozen of them having a competing event over on the National Mall tonight. They are dubbing the People's State of the Union. Jesse, we'll send it back to you.
And no one's watching that. Absolutely no one's watching that. You're going to have
some of the members of Congress were falling asleep during Donald Trump's People's State of the Union. Not only did the MeidasTouch network beat Fox state regime media, we beat other corporate news. Every corporate news lost to MeidasTouch. Then, so funny, I'm not sure if you caught this, but MeidasTouch network host Adam Mockler was then on the Chris Cuomo show, News Nation, and Geraldo Rivera, who's also, I think, still a Fox host, was on there as well. And Geraldo tried to yell at Mockler and say, well, why are you and MeidasTouch network boycotting? It's so disrespectful. Watch as Mockler just destroys Geraldo Rivera. I don't think I've ever thought I'd have to use that sentence. Watch as the MeidasTouch network Gen Z host destroys Geraldo Rivera. That's what happened here. Watch this. Let's play it.
I don't get, Adam. What is the sell on I don't even want you to listen to the President of the United States as he presents his concerns to the United States people and the Congress? How do you sell that to people?
It's very charitable to say that Donald Trump would be listing his concerns to the American people and not just airing out his grievances and lying for 2 to 3 hours. Here's my response. Unprecedented moments demand unprecedented responses. The tariffs that Donald Trump put on, those have been unprecedented. The way that ICE has deployed to cities across the country, unprecedented. Trump's war against the Supreme Court that he just started, very unprecedented. I mean, he called for the arrest of the governor of my state, J.B. Pritzker. So if you're going to argue that Democrats are doing something unprecedented, then that's just not convincing to me. I think that Democrats shining a light on people like the Epstein victims or people who lost their health care or some of the small businesses that were ruined by said tariffs is a good use of time. It's a good use of the attention of the American people.
Geraldo, how do you see it?
I think that that is disrespect disguised as being hip. I think that there are 2 days a year when we support the president, regardless of his party. One is when he is inaugurated. The other is during the State of the Union address, when, as the Constitution requires, he gives you, he or hopefully one day she gives you what the state of the republic is. And to suggest that because the president lies, you're going to boycott the State of the Union, really? That when the president lies, what president? The Republican, the Democrat? Don't politicians bend facts constantly, particularly when they're addressing big crowds? I think that it is rude and violates the pluribus unum, out of many one. It is in the Constitution. We all should stand together and celebrate our institutions.
Give me a break. You're going to cite the Constitution and the peaceful transfer of power, the inauguration, as something that we should respect when we're about to listen to the president, who was the first person to break that peaceful transfer of power after people were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," because of his election fraud lies. And about 4 years ago at the State of the Union, Marjorie Taylor Greene heckled Joe Biden when he was speaking about his deceased son, Beau Biden. So the Republicans have brought us down to new depths day by day by day.
So it is only the Republicans?
Yes, Donald
Trump. It is only the Republicans.
Did
President Clinton was in the midst of impeachment when he delivered the State of the... Wait a second. Do you remember?
Did Joe Biden post an AI photo of Obama as a gorilla?
President Clinton...
Hold on.
President Clinton...
Hold on, I can't
President
hear.
Clinton... President Clinton was in the midst of impeachment when he delivered the State of the Union. So according to MeidasTouch, why was President Clinton allowed to speak? What bigger anchor could he have around his neck than impeachment?
And then more of angry Chris Cuomo, angry Geraldo Rivera, getting absolutely destroyed again by Adam Mockler. Mockler destroyed Cuomo, like he eviscerated Cuomo. He ripped Cuomo to shreds. I just say that also because those words bother Cuomo so much. Like, why is everything destroyed? Why is everything eviscerated? He destroyed Cuomo. He brutalized Cuomo. Here, watch this clip. You probably won't see it anywhere other than on the MeidasTouch network, because I'm not really sure how many people are watching Cuomo and News Nation. Here, play this clip.
Nobody's saying that Trump isn't allowed to speak, but we're saying that we don't have to listen to Trump when he's speaking. Nobody's saying he's not allowed to speak. We're just saying we don't have to listen. And it's a little bit different what Clinton did than Donald Trump deploying ICE to cities, killing U.S. citizens, calling for the arrest of people. And again, spare me like the Constitution when Donald Trump was the one who stepped all over it repeatedly 5 years ago.
So wait a second, buddy. Are you the one who gets to decide? You get to decide who we should listen to and who we should not listen to?
No, 40 senators, 50 senators.
What is your life experience?
Decided. 50
I know
Democratic representatives,
what is your life experience?
decide. I'm not the one deciding. The Democrats did. The Democrats decided they're not going to listen.
You're deciding.
The American people did.
You're having
listen
your
to
party.
This.
You're having
5 minutes. 5 minutes after the MeidasTouch stream started, there were 100,000 people watching the waiting screen. The waiting screen had 100,000 people watching. I mean, how many people watch your show? Not as many as that. People want to know the truth.
Fox News dwarfs your audience. Does that mean we should all listen and agree to what's being said on Fox News?
I'm just giving you the numbers, buddy. I'm just giving you the numbers.
Well, you're giving me your...
All right, going back to the People's State of the Union right here, we had some MAGA hecklers who were trying to go after our host, Joy Reid and Katie Fang. Watch what Joy Reid did. She made minced meat out of the MAGA hecklers. Here, play this clip.
All right, everybody. One note. We just want to do sort of one housekeeping note. Attention, all MAGA trolls. And with apologies to the pastor who gave the invocation, your bullshit is not welcome here. And to paraphrase one of my favorite actors in the world, Robert De Niro, I'm going to slightly paraphrase him. Fuck y'all. We're here to hear the truth and to hear from impacted people, not to see or hear from you. So go back and pay attention to your orange lying friend.
Okay, so you could have tuned into the People's State of the Union, or if you wanted to see Donald Trump's pedo island cabinet in action. You could have watched the actual State of the Union. You had like Howard Lutnick, big fan of Epstein's pedo island, right? He brings his children there after saying he never saw Epstein after 2005. He brought other kids' children there. They talked about nannies together, even though Epstein never had children. I'm not sure why he would need a nanny. I don't know if nanny's the code word that the Epstein class uses. They're nannies. But anyway, watch Howard Lutnick walk around and everyone's like grossed out by this guy. Play this clip.
Nice to see you, sir. Good to see you. Yes, good to see you.
All right, enough of that. Let's go back to the People's State of the Union. Congresswoman Summer Lee, here she was speaking at the People's State of the Union. MeidasTouch, move on. Let's play it.
Where corporations get more say in our democracy than the people we elect, where the government would rather protect powerful people in the Epstein files than the women and the girls who were sexually abused. We live in a country where we have one reality for everyday people and another for the rich and the well-connected and the well-protected. We have to change that. We have to meet the moment with bold policies that level the playing field and deliver justice no matter how much money you have to your name. That's why earlier today, I announced that I'll be introducing articles of impeachment against Pam Bondi. Trump's DOJ continues to obstruct justice and refusing to comply with our subpoena to release the full, unredacted Epstein files. Bondi must be held accountable for that. And let's not forget, it was Trump who said it first, release the files. So we'll keep that call up no matter what. Because where I come from in Western Pennsylvania, we know what it means to be abandoned by politicians who make big promises and lie and deliver nothing. We know what it's like when the factories close, when the hospitals cut services, when the schools can't afford to teach, when the corporations are given permission to poison our water, our air, and our communities without consequences. And we know that no matter what language you speak, what zip code you live in, we all feel that pain, and we are all being squeezed by the same rigged system. So when Trump points the fingers at immigrants, our trans kids, our protesters, our journalists, understand what he's doing. He's trying to make sure we never point the finger where it belongs, at the billionaires and the corporations looting our economy, robbing our people, and buying our democracy right from under us. But here's the truth.
Ruben Gallego, Senator Gallego, here's what he had to say at the People's State of the Union. Let's play it.
But let's be clear what's happening there. They want to call that the State of the Union. It is the state of denial. Because what's going to happen under that Capitol is a bunch of lies. Lies that Donald Trump, the Republicans, are going to tell us about how great this country is doing right now. But what is true, what is happening right now is that Donald Trump, the Republicans, have made this country sicker, poorer, and less secure. Sicker, poorer, and less secure. How did it start? As soon as they got in there, what did they do? They went and they cut Medicaid and they cut food stamps. Millions of Americans right now are without health care. The poorest of our country are trying to figure out how to make ends meet and how to pay for that grocery bill because they needed an extra $1 billion for their billionaire friends. And when they had whatever money they had left over, then they used it to hire the most amount of ICE agents, to have the massive amount of deportations we have now that are also targeting U.S. citizens, racial profiling Americans, arresting Latino veterans and telling them you are not part of this country and make them prove that they're Americans when nobody asked to prove our citizenship when they were sending us to war for this country. Sick.
Congressmember Garcia, let's play it.
The single most powerful moment tonight is going to be when Donald Trump has to look up at the gallery of the U.S. House and see the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein looking straight back at him, demanding justice, demanding truth, and demanding accountability.
Over here, we have Congressmember Kassar. Let's play it right here.
He steals from working Americans to give to the rich. Donald Trump doesn't owe us a 2-hour rambling speech. He owes the American people their money back.
And by the way, Wasn't Abigail Spanberger's rebuttal incredible? Governor Spanberger, governor of Virginia, A+ rebuttal. Here are the 3 questions that she asked to the American people. Let's play it.
Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president. So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you?
More from Governor Spanberger here. Let's play it.
And I know these same conversations are being had all across this country. Because since this president took office last year, his reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs. Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price. And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done. Meanwhile, the president is planning for new tariffs, another massive tax hike on you and your family. And Republicans in Congress, they remain unwilling to assert their constitutional authority to stop him. They're making your life harder. They're making your life more expensive. They're even making it more difficult to see a doctor.
And I guess this is how the GOP was trying to attack us this evening. Cool flex, GOP. They do an AI image of someone with blue hair. I will be watching the progressive State of the Union tonight. GOP. I mean, you find that funny. I don't know. I mean, more people watched us than you. Do you, GOP? You know, while the American people are trying to find solutions to their life, and as American people are suffering, post images like that, GOP. Keep it up. Keep your weirdo talk about like penises and vaginas and bathrooms. You know, you could keep talking about that, and you could let the adults try to talk about healthcare and housing and treating people with dignity and equality, and we could talk about affordability and healthcare and our alliances and stopping masked ICE and Border Patrol agents terrorizing and torturing people. You go for it, GOP. Cool, man. You guys are really cool. You guys like 3 years old. No offense to 3-year-olds. Okay, guys, you're doing AI images of people with blue hair. Stupid. Bunch of idiots. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. 7 million. We're already past 6 million. I gotta remember 7 million. 7 million. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.meidastouch.com today and get yourself the best.